This is a Headgum podcast.
What I want, you've got, and it might be hard to handle. But like a flame that burns the candle feeds the flame. Oh yeah, what I've got, full stock of thoughts and dreams that scatter. And you pull them all together, and how I can explain. Oh yeah, well, you make my dreams come true. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ah. That was my really bad version of You Make My Dreams Come True.
Whoa.
I honestly feel like I should take it back. You know, I almost feel like
I think we should do it again. It wasn't that. That was moving.
I mean, this was me. This was all from memory. It was almost like I was at a karaoke bar. Just like you guys just saw how talented I am. I did not listen to it before. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even hear it. It's like I had perfect pitch. What I want, like, and I knew it.
I was like,
wow.
oh, did someone put on the speakers?
No.
Because I had my eyes closed, so I couldn't tell the difference.
Exactly. Wow, Greta, you are so talented. It's crazy. Okay. The year is 2014. And we're listening to Hall & Oates in 2014 specifically because my guest heard that song not from a parent, not from, throwback radio, but from the 500 Days of Summer soundtrack. Mm-hmm. And, we are very big Joe-Go fans over here.
Oh, baby.
I really am huge.
Oh, baby.
I actually feel like he would probably come on the podcast. Let's get Joe-Go a go-go, Let's see if Joe-Go would come
reach out to his people.
Come on the pod.
Yeah.
So to get everyone spiritually in the 2014 zone, I'm going to tell you the top 10 pop culture moments of 2014 according to Jericho.org. This is Jericho High School's...
The only news source I trust.
Yeah, it's Jericho High School's award-winning multimedia news site. Now, I have no idea where this high school is, but I will find that out when I'm done reading you what these high schoolers have to say. This was written in 2015, so it was kind of year in review. You know what I mean? What?
New York.
Are you sure this is the one? It's Jericho High School in New York?
Jericho High School in Nassau County.
In Long Island. Shout out. Okay. And you know what? I trust it.
They're on the coast.
I trust it. They're on the coast.
So they get it.
They get
it.
Okay, number one is that really famous photo of Ellen DeGeneres, Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence, Brad Pitt, Julia Roberts, Meryl Streep. Yeah.
Oh, shit. That changed everything. It changed everything.
That photo that everyone was freaking. Everyone was like, "This is the ultimate selfie." It's like,
which is crazy because it's just a photo. It's like they've never seen a photo of celebrities together in a picture.
It's like we never thought they knew each other. Well, it's because a lot of people think like we forget because we live in this hellhole. So we forget that when people don't live here, I do think that sometimes people think that like super famous celebrities, I will lump myself into this. Sometimes I'm like, they're AI. You know what I mean? Like they're not real.
Yeah.
So that when you see all of them together in one frame, you're like, it's almost like the computer has a glitch.
There's a glitch for sure. Yeah, they shouldn't be breathing the same air next to each other.
Right, exactly. Frozen came out.
Sure did.
Okay.
Saw that shit in theaters.
Let it go, let it go.
Who's putting Idina Menzel on Sonos right now? Do we have Sonos?
I know.
That's you.
That's
Shut
me.
the fuck up.
But they do say this. They did say it came out in 2013, but what they're talking about is in 2014 is the Frozen obsession.
Oh, sure.
And I like this differentiator.
Yeah. I love the cultural moment wasn't the release. It was the hype of 2014.
It was the hype. It's true.
It was crazy.
It was. The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon came out in 2014.
Really?
Yeah. The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon premiered on February 17th and drew 11.3 million viewers on its debut.
I feel like that's one of those shows that has just been around since the dawn of time. I don't think about any late night show having a release date, like having a premiere.
I know.
It's just kind of always been.
Crazy. Sochi Winter Olympics. Just gonna pass that on. Kim Kardashian and you know who got married. The ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
Oh my God.
Was like the most
that was so painful.
Shared thing on Facebook.
It's so tough.
Wow. Pharrell's Happy debuts Billboard #1.
It sure did.
Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel that the room without a roof.
If you feel like a room. Is it if you feel like a room without a roof? Or if you feel a room without a roof?
Clap along if you feel that happiness is the truth. I mean, that song is really annoying, but I do like clap along if you like. That song is gonna be in my head forever.
Yeah. I mean, it sounded like there was a but it was just. I mean, that song is really annoying. So then we got
it is, but you know what? The annoying songs, like that is a deal I would make with the devil. To write an annoying song.
But have it be like the top of the charts till the day you die.
Only annoying songs become top of the charts.
Yeah. Yes.
So because they get stuck in they're jingles.
Yep.
They're extended jingles.
It's a 4-minute jingle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fault in Our Stars came out, a movie I never saw, a movie I will never see, and that's
fine.
okay.
That's okay.
The World Cup, you know, I'm not a soccer/football girl myself.
Over the head.
And it is, wow, this is a really sad way to end this, but in 2014, we did lose Joan Rivers, Robin Williams, and Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Holy shit.
And we're still honestly reeling.
I just remember, I don't think this happens anymore, but I feel like that was a prime time for people blaming the year. Like everyone would be like, oh, 2014, how could you do this to us?
I still feel like that happens.
I feel like it was big then, but because now they're like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
It'll be like, oh, 2020, you gave us COVID.
I know.
Girl, why would you do that?
I know. They're like, 2020's that girl, you know? It's like that.
And 2023 is that bitch.
Yeah.
She's coming into her era, out of the flop era of 22.
Say that.
Yeah.
Keep
we should all be
going.
brave.
Okay, and where were we in 2014? And who's my guest? You know, everyone's like has so many questions. I can't believe we've come this far along in the podcast. And everyone's like, who's talking? What's going on? Where are we? The year's 2014. We're in Los Angeles, California, and we're Reilly Anspaugh.
We're Reilly Anspaugh. We're in 2014. Take me back, Greta. Take me back.
Reilly, your last name gives me deep anxiety.
That's fine. That's okay. I get it.
Because it's like I just had to... My mouth wanted to go ons, but my head was like, no, it's ans.
Here's the thing, is that, I know everyone, we're going to get into this, my last name. It is a German last name. I think technically it is Anspaugh. You're right. That's what it should be. But we're like, it's just been so Americanized that it is Anspaugh.
No, but it's however you pronounce it. My last name gets botched all the time. So that's why I have a lot of like... pronouncing other people's name trauma.
Sure.
Because I don't want to do onto you what others have done onto me.
We on my podcast, we used to have a thing where we had our top tier patrons. We would read their last name. They would like put names and make up fake names. We would read them on our podcast. And the amount of we got a lot of emails. Let's just say we got a lot of emails. It felt terrible at it. There was one last name that we kept mispronounced because we didn't see the email.
It's hard.
Correcting. So it was probably like a better part of a year.
Sometimes I'll phonetically write my name in parentheses.
That's smart.
You know, it's just Titelman.
It is phonetic.
It is, but other people want to pronounce this
Titelman.
Titelman.
For sure.
And it's not because they're looking at my big juicy honkers. It's because they just don't, they're lazy. My name is pronounced Titelman, like the title of a book and a man. Okay?
And you've always said that.
And I've always said that. It's not Titelman, Titelman.
Now it is.
Now it's Titelman.
Now it's Titelman.
So Reilly, tell me, because the reason why I love this podcast is because I have so many people on this show that I literally know nothing about. The amazing thing about this conversation, this is the first conversation you and I have ever had in our life.
I know. That's great.
I've honestly spoken but 5 sentences to you before this.
And here we are.
And it was 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So Reilly, tell me everything about you specifically in high school.
In high school, I mean, in my head, I thought I was the shit.
You probably were.
Well, here's the thing. I was overly confident for what I was. I thought I'm a gift. I'm like, everyone either wants to be me or fuck me.
Yeah.
I am the shit. I was like pretty basic theater kid. I was like, but in my head, because I didn't have like any specific like group, my high school was very much like, it was like a high school movie. It's like on this green table on the grass, that's where all the stoners have lunch. And on the quad, that's where the cheerleaders and dance team sits. And like very that. And so because I had friends in each friend group,
you're a floater.
I'm everywhere. I'm omniscient. I'm omnipotent. Everyone wants a piece of this.
Everything everywhere all at once.
I was everything everywhere all at once. And I was like a theater kid who was like fine. Yeah.
I'm sure you were great. I'm sure you were more than fine. People that get to be everything everywhere all at once are special people. Because
it was delusions of grandeur.
With a bunch of people, you know? So you probably were special. Now, were you as special as your little high school ego was telling you?
Hell no.
Probably not, but none of us were, you know? But that's kind of the wonder of being young.
Yeah. In my head, I'm just like, oh my God, like, how's everything going to get any better than what it is now?
You get to be blissfully delusional.
I was in my own world. It was amazing. I was obsessed with with men who were emotionally unavailable.
Yes.
It was very,
I say that's a pillar of being a teenager.
For sure. The less they were interested in me, the more fatal for them I was.
Of course. I think that's, for a lot of people, they never grow out of that. For a lot of people, that's like something, old habits die hard. Yeah. You know?
Yep.
So you're in theater. Is your high school big?
It was big. It was a big, private, super conservatively Christian high school.
Christian?
Very Christian.
I don't know anything. Do we know anything about Christian high schools? I only know about Catholic high schools.
I went to
like Evangelical Christian?
Yes. Dude, it was scary. So famously, I am not that. And actually, I would say like all of it was really weird. Like they had a really good theater program and an English department. So like that's why I stayed. But it was dark. It was dark. Like I joke about it, but it was tough. It was really scary shit.
So hold on. Were you religious?
No.
How did you end up at a Christian high school?
Because it
was of the programs.
Because they had good. Right. It was a good school. It was like a good college prep school.
Right.
That was a 20-minute drive away.
And it was a evangelical Christian school?
Yeah, dude.
So what would they teach you?
Let's just say, not to brag, but I've been in Bible class from 6th to 12th grade.
So you started going to this school in middle school. And you're learning the New Testament.
I'm learning all of it. It was less like... The teachings were fine because I had some good Bible teachers who were just like, listen, we're going to teach. This is just like the history of the Bible. You can take it or not. But then had some teachers who were very much not that.
Right. Like this is the word of God.
Yeah. Well, like not only this is the word of God, but like if you don't believe this or follow this, then you're
going to
bad.
hell.
Yep. Classic. And I was raised, like, I'm Irish Catholic. And so it's like I'm very like culturally Catholic. And so I went to a Catholic elementary school up until I went to this school. And like kids at this high school had no idea what to do with that, which is wild. It's not that different. But like I remember in 6th grade, one of my first classes, they were talking about Catholicism in a history class. I don't know why. And like got a bunch of weird looks. And this girl after class, she's like, do you want to come to chapel with me on Sunday? And I'm like, oh, I'm good. Thank you. And she's like, oh, have you ever been? I'm like, oh, I'm Catholic. And she was like, oh, that's crazy. I'm like, what is? And she's like, do you guys worship the devil? I'm like, not as far as I know. Really wild.
Yeah, religious school is interesting. But this is my first time ever hearing of
like an evangelical high school.
Yeah, because most religious high schools I feel are like Jesuit, like prep schools or Catholic.
Yeah.
But so interesting.
Yeah.
So did you believe, was religion at all a part of your life?
Growing up Catholic, like my mom is Catholic. My mom's from Ireland, and so that's very important to her. I remember she was like, just get confirmed, and then after that you can do whatever you want, but it's important to me that you do that. I'm like, oh, that's fine, no harm done. But my high school was actually the thing that kind of, and I know it's like, this is probably just me being super because of the administration of my high school, it really turned me off from religion, which makes me sad because it's like I know that there are extremist sects to everything. But it's like that was just so much of my experience that I'm like, oh, then it must all be bad. And I know that's not true, but that was really, so it wasn't. But I do remember me in high school, I had a lot of friends who were very devout Christians, and everyone, all the Christian girlies had their highlighted Bibles and their favorite verses drawn in bubble letters. And I'm like, that must be really cool. And I remember trying, I'm like, what if I just was religious?
Yeah.
And I remember because we had to have our Bibles for classes. I'm like, what if I just really tried getting into it? And it just wasn't for me.
I mean, look, you tried.
You try. And if that's your thing, more power to you. It was not for Reilly Anspaugh.
At the end of the day. I love and hate very pious kids. I am fascinated and I simultaneously want to slap them across the face.
We had chapel every Tuesday. No matter what you believed, you had to go. And I remember there were some days where it was they would split up the boys and the girls, and the boys would have some session about here's what it means to be a man, and then the girls session, I'll never forget this. I feel like this is pretty across the board for all Christian, Catholic, that kind of school is they all give us pieces of paper, and they're like, look at this crisp, beautiful white sheet of paper. How pure it is. Crumple it up. You'll never be. And then now try to get it back to what it was. That's what happens when you have sex before marriage. And we're all just
they would make you crumple a piece of paper
to show us that that's our purity would be gone if we fucked before marriage. Crazy. And I'm like, let me go to science class. I don't want to be here.
I feel like I've heard this being done with flowers.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's the more popular version of that
once
lesson.
you rip the petals off, you can never put the petals back on.
That's your flower, honey.
And then you're like, honey, I was born without petals.
Honey, I'm a cactus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did people have sex in your high school?
Of course.
I mean, I know, of course.
Christian high school is amazing because you have there's no in between.
Right.
Except a couple, but it's you were either on the spectrum of very, very religious, very pious, not doing anything, or it is just hedonistic. It's really fascinating.
I feel like what I love that some of my friends who went to Catholic school would tell me, how you could have anal and you'd still be a virgin because it wouldn't be you wouldn't be popping your cherry. Also, that term is so disgusting.
It's so gross.
Did you have a boyfriend in high school?
I did. Oh, that was nothing about me in high school. I craved male attention all the time. I had a few boyfriends in high school. And yeah, I did. And it was very I was obsessed with Gossip Girl in high school.
XOXO.
XOXO, Carl Navarre, if you're listening. I was obsessed. And my high school boyfriend looked kind of like Chuck from Gossip Girl.
Ooh.
And so in my
what's
head,
that guy's name again?
Ed Westwick. And in my head, I'm like, we're Chuck and Blair.
Yeah.
And we did fight all the time. It was so much a toxic relationship. I'm like, they're just like us. And so in my head, I'm like, that's so hot and glamorous because we're just like them. And now rewatching it back, I'm like, oh no.
No, they're in a psycho abusive relationship.
Which is what then I'm like, oh, I want to be like that. And so then bad shit would happen mentally. And I'm like, this is fine because they're like that and so am I. And so I'm good and hot for that.
Wait, when was Gossip Girl on the air? I feel like it came out, I feel like Gossip Girl came out when I was in high school.
It was on the air for a while. It was still on the air when I was in high school.
Are we getting a fact check right now?
Yeah, it was on from 2007 to 2012.
Oh my God. Okay.
So before.
So when I was in college.
Gossip Girl was revealed when I was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah. Yes, because, oh no, you know what I'm thinking of? This is where I'm being stupid. I remember watching the OC when I was in high school.
Same thing.
It's like it's like
different
it's just
city.
the West Coast. I was gonna say it's just like the West Coast version. Yeah, okay, now I see. So it was like something that was buzzing around the school.
Oh my God. It was that and Pretty Little Liars were like
Pretty Little Liars is the most insane show. I watched it over COVID.
it's crazy.
The premise is so wild. And also, shout out to whoever the costume designer is on Pretty Little Liars. I have never seen, like, some looks you pulled out of your noggin. You're an innovator, whoever you are. Wouldn't have even thought.
I think I stopped after maybe the second season, but actually, holy shit, Greta. When I was a senior in high school, there was, I think I was a senior, maybe a junior. This was like BlackBerry time. Everyone had a black BBM. That was the thing.
I know it well.
Yep.
I think I still know my pin. Anyway,
Really?
I think it was, yeah,
I don't remember mine at all, but I thought it was like, it was so fucking cool. We all thought we were the coolest. And there was someone who, it was like real life Pretty Little Liars. It was like me and like 3 of my friends got messages from someone. If you guys don't know what Pretty Little Liars is, part of the premise is like there's an anonymous person named A, and A knows everyone's secrets, and like A blackmails them and messages all that stuff.
But
and
isn't A dead?
Like A is like thought to be dead, like their friend
Yeah.
Allison, who they thought had died, and they're like, oh my God, she knows all our secrets, we confide in her. So on BBM, this whoever it was started messaging me and 3 other friends as A, and essentially just bullied us.
Did you ever figure it out who it was?
So we were just getting weird messages like and targeted to each of us differently. So they'd be like, you got the lead, like Reilly, you got the lead in the play, but you're not even very good. I'm like, cool, that's really fucking mean. And like messaging other people different things. And so I remember like as much as we hated it, we also were like, we're main characters. Like this is crazy. And they would be like, come to the quad at noon. And we're like, okay.
How long did this go on for?
Maybe like a month. And I remember then they would like leave me, like go to the library at 2, go to carousel 4. And like there was a message, like it was whoever it was intricate as fuck. And so we all were like, okay, then now it's just getting mean. Let's try and figure out who it is. And so it was very much my personality. I was like, I'll reason with them. I'll befriend them and see what happens. So I'm messaging them. I'm like, hey, I know you said that mean thing about me, but like I forgive you. And like if you're hurting, like we can talk. Like I was really trying to like
And what did they
connect.
say?
They were just like, sorry, that was pretty, like, I crossed the line a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of, like, going through something. It was really crazy. And so the photo on BBM was, like, pink and, like, green polka dots. And I remember there was a girl in our class who their pencil case was green. And we're like, oh, it's her. But then we confirmed her. She didn't even have BlackBerry. And we're like, oh, A must have taken a photo of that little red herring. It was so intricate. And so then finally my friends and I were like, let's just one day at lunch, we're just going to message A nonstop because someone's going to be on their phone responding.
Right.
And we turned the corner on the steps. There was a girl who was in the theater program with me and she's hunched over her BlackBerry and it's going on and we're like, it's you. And she like looked at us and she's like, and she just ran away. We never talked about it again. No one ever admitted it. That was literally and then we stopped getting messages. It was and that was the end.
So you feel pretty sure that it was her.
I feel there is not a doubt in my mind that me going, it's you, her looking at me with a BlackBerry, me like, and running, it's fucking her. If it's not, and you're out there, great job. You stumped us.
I mean, that's fun. I wish I had a little bit of that in high school. Like a little mystery to solve with my friends. Like in some ways, she like gave you a blessing, this girl.
In some ways, it was like very fun activity.
And she was probably just really jealous of you.
Mixed with some bullying. Mixed with some light bullying. And like other friends were like in sports and they're like, you sucked at the game. Like it was just like, it wasn't even like I have a secret about you. It was just like saying mean shit.
I love that. We're going to go to a little break and we'll be right back. I like the mean shit she was saying though, because I think sometimes I do, and let me back this up because I think like saying like you were really bad at the game and like something that you've accomplished or like saw you booked the lead in the play, you're not that good. It's like, babe, I'm the lead. Like, what?
Okay.
So I think it's really fun when you've already accomplished something. You know what I mean? For someone to be like, yeah, I saw you won that Oscar. You sucked. It's
you were
like,
bad.
okay, what?
Right.
It's awful. It's bad. I'm not actually saying
But it's
this is
different
good.
than being like, you'll never do this because you're bad.
Right. Or like if you had an audition at school for the musical and you flopped it and you were feeling really bad.
You actually sucked.
Right. And then someone sent you a message and was like, saw you at the audition today. You fucking sucked. Like then
that would be
like,
devastating. I'm jumping off a cliff.
That's what I mean.
Horrible.
Like then that's horrible.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
But like to be someone that's like, saw you got a haircut and everyone told you it looked really, really good. I just want to let you know it looked really bad.
It looked really homemade.
Yeah. So it's like that kind of bullying I think is very funny.
You know what? I never thought about it like that.
Spin zone, honey. That's like that's the delusional life I live in. I hear one thing, it comes out of my brain the whole other.
It's an insult and you're like, thank you.
When people say no to me, I'm like, they just know they can't have me, you know? So of course they say no.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's true.
Yeah.
Were you a good student?
I was a good student. I was a good student in everything but math. I hated math. I hated them saying that you're going to need it later in life. You don't. I've never used math. I have a calculator for that. I hate that shit. I remember because I was so annoyingly ingrained in theater that like my mom was like, if you don't get your C up to a B in math, then you're not going to be, I'm going to make you be double cast in the show. Not even like you can't do it. Just like, I'm going to make you be double cast. Which is even worse. I'm like, I'd rather not
Was
be
your mom
in
a stage mom?
No, she wasn't really. She wasn't a stage mom. In the way that like going to this high school, there were like pretty intense stage moms.
Right.
And I would hear like a lot of emotional abuse. Like,
right.
It was tough. But, and I didn't pull it up and I had to be double cast with a girl who we were very much not friends.
No.
But
double cast with an enemy.
Double cast with an enemy. Very all about Eve. It sucked.
Love that.
But yeah, I enjoy school. I like being in.
You're giving me that energy. You're giving me like, don't take this.
Don't say that.
Don't take this the wrong way. Well, you didn't do yourself any favors by wearing a blazer. You know what I mean? Because that's giving studious. Like I'm just saying, and it's giving, and I mean this in a really nice way.
Okay.
Because I like. This is actually like you're triggering me back to my high school.
Just don't sugarcoat it,
because
man.
you'd
Just
be
go
like
for
all
it.
the girls that I was like in my grade that I was intimidated by.
Really?
That were like pretty, really good at musical theater, good at school, got good grades, like had their shit together. It's giving Tracy Flick without being psychotic. You know what I mean?
It's giving crippling perfectionist anxiety. It's giving I got an A-. I would hit myself and be like, you fucking idiot.
Would you?
Oh my God, not like hit myself, but it's like I would be, if I got like a B+ on a test, I'm crying for a day. I'm like, you piece of shit. You're like the amount of horrible self-talk.
No.
Oh no, it was like, you're so like it was dark. It was like really tough.
If I got a B-, I'd be like, you fucking rocked it.
That's the kind of energy I
like,
wanted.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I am just like white knuckling my way through AP Lit. Just like I gotta fuck. Like there was yeah. So I like school. I like a class. I like a learning environment.
Were you a stressed out teenager?
Yes, I was. Me at 16. And I'm only 26 now, but me at 16, I was like 38. Like I was.
Well, okay. 38's not that bad.
No, not old, not bad. But just like I never let myself like be a teenager.
Right.
I think I've always been very much like adult. Do you know what I'm talking about? Not even old soul, but parentified child. That's the term I'm looking for.
Yes.
So just like in high school, I was overly responsible. I was like very to the point where I could never just like do something bad.
Did you drink or like go to parties?
I did drink and I did go to parties.
Okay.
But
you were living life.
I was living life, but living life like within a boundary.
Right.
Like I think I wish I could have just gone back and just like went fucking nuts for like one time.
Yeah.
And I didn't because I was so self-conscious.
But you know, at the end of the day, like, I understand that sentiment and that feeling. I feel the opposite. I sometimes wish that I tried a little harder because, like, I am a smart person and I wish that I gave myself a little more, like, tenderness to just be like, just try a little. Like, don't be scared to try, you know, where it's like, I think everyone feels
Grass is
some
greener.
kind of way, like at that age.
Yeah.
But like you have boyfriends. You're the star of the musical. You were a good student.
I had boyfriends, but then I remember like beginning of high school. I think I got over it, but it was very much like the narrative I had in my head and was true to a certain extent. It's like I was always like the friend of. It's like all the boys I liked would like my hot blonde friends.
Right.
And so it was very like, all right.
You'll be shocked to hear this, but I was not a hot blonde in high school.
That is shocking.
I was a jet black like hair girl.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I do think that really is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the blonde cutie.
Dude, it is so real.
Yeah.
It is so real.
Even though, let's not get it twisted, I pulled a lot of dick.
You pulled.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
But you know, was it because they wanted it or was it because I just wasn't a prude? You know what I mean? That's the real
Doesn't
trick.
matter.
That's the real
Doesn't matter.
question. It happened.
It
That's what
happened.
matters.
That I can tell people it happened and how or why doesn't fucking matter. Because it happened.
Do you have like a moment in your head that is truly just like the essence of you in high school?
Oh, God.
Outside of, I would just like to say before we started recording, you were elaborating that you and the other theater girlinas would get into riff-offs from Spring Awakening.
Yes. Man. I think like probably essence of me in high school is probably me in senior year. We'd have this, it's not specific to my high school. I feel like a lot of high school theater programs do this of like, after the final show of the year, like you'd give out like paper plate awards. Like you'd make up awards for each person in the cast. And you'd give a lot of them to the freshmen. And I remember it's like, it was that perfect mix of like genuinely meaning well. And like, it's, you know that energy? It's like you're, when you're a freshman in high school or a freshman in college or whatever. And like, it's so uncomfortable to be around upperclassmen because they have this energy of like, you're just a baby. And like every person they see in the hall, it's like, I love you, you're the fucking best. That was my senior year experience because it's like, I'd always felt that way as a freshman. Like now I get to be that. So it was like probably like the paper plate awards senior year of like really well-meaning and genuinely getting along with people, but like also a little sense of that God complex that was unearned.
Yeah, well... I feel like seniors across the board have that. It's very like, I run this place.
Yes.
I've only been here for 4 years, but I run this town.
Our high school was very much the kind of place where people would come back after they graduated and hang out all the time.
Actually, my high school, I remember people coming back that had just graduated. And I remember being like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, totally.
I'm just like, go, like,
get a life.
And like, you have your whole day to do anything you wanted to do, and you came here.
And why are you hanging out in our Spanish classroom?
And you came here to say hi to this teacher. Like, no. Like, I think it's beautiful to have close relationships with your teachers. But guess what? When you graduate, you're allowed to meet that teacher out in the world. You're allowed to get coffee with them.
Yeah.
Lunch.
Yeah. Were you
when
friends
you turn
with any
21,
teachers?
You can get a drink. Was I friends with teachers? Yes, because that's like the only way that I did well in school was by like, you know, manipulating teachers into being my friends. But
that's powerful.
It is. There are teachers that hold like a very special place in my heart that I wish I could like say hi to now. I'm still like loosely in contact with the former headmaster of my school, who I love, who really like was great to me.
That's cool.
And then there's one English teacher, shout out Louise, changed my life. Love Louise.
Always the English teachers.
She still teaches at my high school. So this is the thing, like, or maybe she doesn't anymore. I don't think she does anymore. But we think like when you're a senior, you're like, oh, like I run this place, like I'm a vet of this place. And then you like think about the teachers that have been teaching at your school for like 40 years. They have to be like, oh, yep, here we go again. And you know that these teachers, like you think you're so memorable and whatever. I swear, like probably 90% of the teachers I had forgot who I am.
Oh, same. 100%. Yeah.
Or maybe they didn't, low-key.
They're all watching online. They're like, I didn't, Greta.
They're all,
I didn't. I'm watching right now,
If you're a teacher
Greta.
and you're watching this on YouTube, comment below.
You're obsessed.
Yeah, comment below. But yeah, Louise would have been one. And my evolutionary biology teacher, a class you definitely did not have at your high school.
We had a day where they're passing around paper. They're like, and they made a point to be like, well, this is the day we have to teach you about this. And I'm like, great. And then we never talked about it again.
Did you learn like creationism?
Of course I did. Of course
I love
did.
that.
Dude.
What did they say?
That it was created in 7 days. And we had, there was one teacher who wrote a book about how dinosaurs were on Noah's Ark.
Huh?
Dude, it's
what kind?
All of them, all kinds. And
all
that explains
of the dinosaurs.
Yes, that all of the dinosaurs. The book is called Dinos on the Ark, if anyone's interested.
What? And we're supposed to believe that
it was just like he did some promo for it. And I remember looking it up. I'm like, no way.
So dinos
yeah.
were just cooling on the ark with like llamas.
It's because that was the explanation for how the world is only a couple thousand years old.
Right.
Is that the dinos were on the ark.
Okay,
Obviously.
Dinos are like huge. Dinos couldn't fit on the ark. Dinos are the size of the ark.
Two of every kind of dino on an ark?
No,
I don't
honey.
think so.
I don't think so, honey. There are no dinos on the ark. That's going to be the next one that I do.
I did get that book for my friends for Christmas that year that it was released.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I wish I still had it. Oh my God.
Wow.
I have no idea where it is. I need to find it.
Dinos on the ark.
Dinos on the ark.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
What was the paper plate award that you gave out?
Oh, I don't remember. It was just we took turns giving all of them out.
Were you an outfit planner? Because I'm thinking
No.
Blair Waldorf, and I'm thinking she wore really like
we had
elaborate
uniforms.
Oh, that's nice.
And so
were you a headband person?
No, I was worse. I was a bow. I was a big clip-on American Apparel bow in the back of the head.
I like the like the cotton kind.
Like yes. Oh yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't like a cute
Not like
little
the ribbon.
No, I wish Greta. God, I wish it was the ribbon. But unfortunately,
The bow pilled.
it was the kind. I was in high school at the perfect time where American Apparel was at its peak when I was in high school. So it was like
not just for high school. It was peaking all
everyone.
over the world.
Big cotton bow in the
Yeah.
back of the head.
What
I was like,
color? All colors.
black and red.
Chic.
Chic, yeah, very chic.
It is.
Giant bow in the back of the head.
And how would you style your hair?
I would do kind of like a half up, half down situation.
A little curl, perhaps?
Oh, for sure. But like the barrel curl.
Love
like
that.
people in 2011,
Makeup?
2012. A little bit of smear it on with my hands, foundation. Too much powder under the eyes. I was never, because I'm so pale, bronzer always looked psychotic on me, so I never did any of that. But chunky lashes.
This you might be a scotch too young for. Tevi, you might remember it. Do you remember the CoverGirl Mousse foundation?
I do remember that.
You do?
I do remember that.
I guess if you were like performing in middle school or whatever, you might have used it.
Heavy stuff.
That was sick. Like you'd open it up and it was a souffle.
It was so disgusting.
It was a souffle of makeup.
Yeah, a souffle that would never fall.
Oh my God.
And the ads were like, it was always the two fingers that
Those two fingers, this is so sexual.
yeah.
Like whipping this up, like souffle foundation. Oh my
It was
God.
so gross.
Disgusting.
It was so gross. Yeah.
Is that a knock on the door I hear? Why, yes, it is. Welcome to the high school guidance counselor's office.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me.
I'm your high school guidance counselor.
Wow, hello.
What did I decide to call myself? Miss Duck? Professor Duck.
Sounds like a Webkins.
No, I'm Professor Duck.
I love it.
Professor Duck is in. I'm going to make merch for this podcast. I am, because, like, you know, we need to do that, I think. And we're going to make one sweatshirt that says stay cool, never change. And then it's going to say Professor Duck is in. I think that's good. I'd wear a hat that said Professor Duck is in. Because it's, you know, it's like, you got to know.
Yeah.
You guys, Tevi's shooting me down per usual. My bully you're my bully.
It's a cool hat because people have to ask. Like, it's such a specific phrase that then it's like, oh, what's Professor Duck? Oh, it's
exactly.
And
if you're a classmate and you want Professor Duck merch, tell Tevi. Tell Tevi. Okay. Now, in this segment of the pod, you get to rewrite traumatic high school history.
Oh.
And you can, apologize to someone, say screw you to someone, do both, whatever it is, whatever has been, gnawing at your door for the last 9 years.
Oh, Christ. I would just like to, oh, man. There's so much on both sides.
You can say as many as you want.
I would like to say a big screw you to the establishment at my high school.
We love that.
Because there were so many queer kids in the theater program who were terrified to come out and be themselves because the administration was so fucking horrific.
Well, you could imagine that would probably go hand in hand with, like, the kind of school you're describing to me.
Yeah, well, exactly. It was very, it was very oppressive. The high school was very, very oppressive. So
Fuck the administration.
Fuck the administration. Fuck the administration for sure. I think I would like to apologize to all of the men in my high school because I was so desperate.
What would you do? Tell me what you would
for
do.
approval and attention. I would lead people on. I would lead people because I loved the feeling of, like, someone being into me.
Yeah.
But then it's like, so it was just a weird, like, power trip, and that was really fucked up. And I'm really sorry because I was not kind.
I'm so into you.
It was very, like, it made me, it was like a high of, like, knowing that, and then, like, pretending to be like, what? Oh my God, they have a crush on me? It was awful. It was such a, like, mean girl thing to do.
But
and
you
I
have to know that so many of us did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So many.
I remember, like, when I got into college, I was really beating myself up about having done that in high school. I'm like, I'm never going to do that again. And I haven't, and I won't because it was so bad. But, like, in my head, I'm like, I'm the only one who's done this. This is a specific thing for me. And, like, I'm terrible. Everyone else is great and healthy.
No,
and
everyone's done it.
And so now I'm like, oh, we all did that?
You know what? I would actually like to use this time to apologize to someone. He didn't go to the same high school as me. He went to the high school that was essentially across the street. I don't know if I led you on. I probably did. I remember we were on the phone a lot at for one chunk of time, or we were IMing a lot, whatever it was. But you made me a mix CD that actually turned out to just be only Bright Eyes. But but I stopped talking to you after you gave me that CD. And I'm sorry. That was rude. I should have at least said thank you. And I'm sorry.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
I'm smiling, but I'm genuinely very sorry.
I know.
I feel really
I just
bad.
like, it's really bad to flirt. I also, you know what? I want to say sorry to Max Steinerman, who I kissed when I was in the 5th grade on the cheek, and then I proceeded to, I think, smack him. Yeah, we were in the copy room at school. I gave him a kiss on the cheek. My cheeks got all red, and then I'm pretty sure I struck him.
Because you were embarrassed?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I was. I struck him, and chased him out of like the copy room. And I'm really sorry because I genuinely really did like him.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I have another apology. One of my dear friends who is still a friend of mine, and my friends, I've apologized to her before, but like, I think there's just people in the kinds where it's just so easy to make fun of.
Yeah.
And she was that person of our friend group. And like, she knew that she knew that it's like everything. She's just like, I know. And, but I think sometimes it's just like, because all of us were doing it, it would just dogpile and it would go like, it would just be, I could sense times when it's just like, all right, that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
And we just like kept it going because we thought it was funny. And it was all out of love, but that's not an excuse for just like taking it too far.
Yeah.
And I'm really sorry because that must have felt really shitty.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
And our apologies are heard.
And we're
by
forgiven.
the dinos on the ark.
Dinos on the Ark. And you know what? I'm sorry for not leaving a 5-star review for Dinos on the Ark.
I
am sorry.
I'm not. I'm going to go to Dinos on the Ark and spam it.
They have the best sales they've ever had in years.
Truly.
Like, whoa, why out of more than 10 years later, why are we getting the most sales on
do you know
Dinos
this
on the Ark?
niche podcast? Tevi, can you please read us our Classmates Corner today?
Happily.
If you have a Classmates Corner and you want to talk to me and my guest, please email us at seniorsuperlativespod@gmail.com with the subject line Classmates Corner. We would love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you. Like, I know you guys are listening. That's the crazy thing because I can see the numbers. They aren't high enough. There aren't enough of us. There need to be more. But the ones that I have, I love you deeply. And I thank you every single day for listening to this show.
Bring a friend.
Bring a friend. Tevi.
This one's from Grace. She says, "Hi, Greta. I have a confession / fuck you that I'm finally ready to share. I was thinking about your podcast and how I've been wanting to write a fuck you to the guy who catfished me from ages 16 to 20 years old.
Oh
I know,
my God.
embarrassing. When I realized he is the entire reason I have trust and intimacy issues.
Well, sure.
I am now 29 and have never been able to fully open up to a romantic partner because I'm afraid it'll never be real. So fuck you, catfish, and fuck you to all the other catfishes who fuck with people's emotions and lives. XOXOG."
Okay, well.
Whoa. Well, of course you have trust issues.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's a long time.
I gotta say, you did not give me enough detail. I need to know. You are leaving me chomping at the bit. You know, I love a catfish
What
story.
a story.
I hate catfish stories, but I love them. I still, I'm probably the last person on earth that watches catfish. I love it. I'm so
That's
sorry you went through that. That's really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And for a long time. That's and like
Formative
formative
years.
years. Yeah. For 4 formative years of your life. So of course there's that trauma of like, well, are you I'd be doing the same thing. That really fucking sucks.
Here's what I'll say. You should not shut yourself off to love. You should be open to it and just make a rule for yourself that you got to link up IRL.
You
You know, you got to meet in person. Don't let it go too long not meeting up in person. Part of falling in love and meeting people, you do kind of have to catfish them a little at the beginning. You know what I mean?
Maybe
Just a little
start
bit.
with like mutual
I'm kidding.
friends. Like just as a good dipping your toe in the
I
water.
think that you can use the internet. I do.
Totally.
But I think that I understand the fear.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
Yeah.
And I totally would be deeply traumatized by that.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
I would
Start with
just be
Hinge.
like, or you know what? Hit him with the FaceTime.
Yeah. That's good.
But you know what else happens too that is hard because it's not actually catfishing someone, but when someone posts a photo of themselves that you find out is 10 years old, and then you're kind of like, what?
Yeah.
You're not, you are the person, so you're not catfishing me, but what you're showing me is...
It's usually intentional of this is my best photo.
Right.
Or I haven't taken many photos lately.
Everyone needs to start posting their worst photos. Because then
I
when
love
you meet
that.
up IRL,
You're like,
you
oh,
look gorgeous.
You look amazing.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I was on dating apps, it was a lot of people who only had group shots. And so that also feels like a little bit of catfishing. It's like if you and a
I
couple
agree.
friends, then it's like, oh, well, if it's this person,
Yeah.
they're really hot. And I
But
want to talk about
everybody
them.
else, no.
Everybody else is a fucking dog. Like,
Yeah.
it was very, like, so that also can get a little shady.
Yeah. No group pics.
No group pics. One group pic is fine if it's accompanied by other photos of just you.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of how I feel about like people posting pictures of them holding babies that aren't theirs and
Oh,
dating
yeah.
app
Very
profiles.
weird. Very weird.
I'm like, oh,
Why?
this isn't like getting me horny.
Yeah. You're like,
You
oh,
know,
you'd be a
I'm not
great
like-
provider.
Right. I'm not like seeing you holding a baby being like, oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, that's gotta be mine. Oh my God.
Exactly. Well, I'm sorry that you got catfish. That really fucking
Yeah, that
sucks,
really
but you don't
fucking
deserve
sucks.
that. That's not going to happen to you in the future, especially not if you keep listening to my podcast.
Yes. Well, that is the main thing. One is listen to this podcast. Two is FaceTime.
And you know what? Fuck you to that catfisher.
Yeah.
Whoever the fuck
Big
you are,
fuck you.
I'm looking for you.
Mm.
I know nothing about the story,
Mhm.
which is driving me crazy.
Mhm.
But you know, not good.
It's one of your teachers.
Yeah,
The same person who's watching.
Oh my God. Oh, one of my teachers. Oh, I thought even it was one of her teachers. I was like,
no.
I bet you there are teachers that do that. I mean, that's kind of the premise of the second version of Gossip Girl.
Yes.
She's not really a catfish, but like,
But, oh man.
I mean, you find out like it's episode 1
Yeah.
of the first season who Gossip Girl is. So it's not really like that big of a secret.
But the kids don't know.
Right. So it's like you're kind of catfishing the kids. Anyway, crazy.
That sucks. Fuck you, that catfish. That's really shitty.
Awful. If you could go back in time and give your high school self any advice, what would it be? I think I know.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down. Calm the fuck down. It'll all get done. And just take it easy. Just like literally breathe. Literally just breathe. Just like take a second, take 5 seconds out of your day and just get a little perspective. Because if you just breathe a little bit, get some perspective, your schoolwork's going to get done. You have friends. And you're going to be fine. You can have one too many drinks at a high school party and you're going to be fine. Yeah. It would just be calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Teens are cray.
Teens are cray. Like famously, teens are cray. And yeah, because I feel the same amount of responsibility and adulthood as I do an adult that I did when I was a high schooler.
Yeah.
And I wish that was not what it was.
I did too, but with different things. Like not so much with schoolwork, but
Yeah.
with like other like interpersonal things.
Oh,
I
for
felt
sure.
that.
For sure. Same. Yeah.
Do you think it's antithetical? Well, no. Antithetical is not the right word. Do you think it's unethical if you were to be a parent and your teen was like, this is for everyone in the room, you, including you, Jake. If you were to have a child and your parent were, and your child were to be like such a balled up stress ball, would you slip them a little Xanax in their drink?
I would
No.
be. No. You don't think it's unethical, or you wouldn't do it?
If your kid was freaking a leak and you were like,
I would have a conversation with them, but not give them drugs.
you wouldn't?
No, I would tell them why it's worth calming down.
And then you'd offer them the Xanax that they could take knowingly.
I would
Give
say,
them melatonin.
that's
Melatonin.
good.
So you just want to knock the kid out.
Fuck out.
You're like, I just want the kid to go
Give him
asleep.
2 10-milligram pills of melatonin.
Yeah, you just conk him out.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
You know,
Sounds like yeah.
TBD.
Slip him a little bit.
TBD. Depends on, what's going on. Luckily, guess what? No one come for me. I don't have a kid. So,
Wow.
I'm just saying.
I'd probably have a conversation and then give him just like a weed gummy or something.
Sometimes kids, it breaks my heart when I see stressed out teenagers because you just want to tell them, like, I promise you, like, I don't want to say it gets better because sometimes, like, maybe that's not true, but it what does happen is it keeps going. So you
Yes.
got to figure out how to manage it better.
Yes. Yeah.
You
It's not
know?
sustainable at a certain point, that level of just like,
Right.
Yeah.
Did you go to prom?
I did go to prom.
What did you wear?
I wore floor length.
That was a wistful sigh.
It's not wistful. At the time, I think this is probably a universal experience of being like, I'm the belle of the ball. I am the belle of the ball. It was a lot of red lace, Greta. Ultimately, it was a lot of red lace, but not like a cool Lydia Dietz, like Beetlejuice red lace.
I was gonna say.
Wasn't that. It was like long strips of red lace.
Oh,
down.
really?
Yeah.
Where did you get it? The mall?
Probably. It was a lot of mix of red and nude lace. And I went with
Stripes?
not even stripes. It's hard to explain. It was like my
I'm gonna need to see a visual.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and find it. But yeah, and my prom date was, I made my friend ask me, who was a year below me, because I was so scared that I wasn't gonna get asked by anyone else. So my type A ass was like, cool, then I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make sure I have a date, because I couldn't bear the pain of nobody asking me.
Did you wait? Your boyfriends? You did not have a boyfriend.
I didn't have
at
a
this
boyfriend
time.
at this time. So because I'm like, you know what? I want to go to college of a free woman.
Yeah, that's smart.
And also, it's like I knew, I'm like, this is like, it's just, we're dating more for fun rather than like, this is a very serious emotional thing.
That's forward thinking.
Yeah. But because of that, and then so many of my other friends had a boyfriend. And so I'm like, everyone else is going to get asked except for me. And so I took that shit into my own hands.
Initiative.
And I actually do regret that decision. Oh God, here we go. Because I kind of wish I would have calmed down, took a second, and seen what would have happened. Like if anyone had asked me, because I wanted to ask me, but that didn't happen. Also, my prom date was, we were going to take photos with my younger brother and his date, who was one of my good friends. And
how much younger is your brother than you?
9 months. He's my stepbrother.
Oh. I was going to say 9.
I know.
9 months.
We fought a lot.
You're like, he's my twin. He just stayed in longer.
Yeah. Here is, oh my God, here's the dress.
You pulled that up fast.
I just went straight to the back of my phone.
Oh, okay.
You see what I mean? Like the strips of red lace.
It's I wouldn't describe it as strips. I would describe it as red lace over a nude slip.
Yes, but it's because it's like, it's chunked off. It's like blocks of red lace.
I think it's nice.
You don't have to say that.
No, I really do. You have really nice hair.
Thank you. I was going for like old Hollywood.
And you did it. And I noticed still you have really nice nails.
Oh, these are very much fake. And those probably were, actually those weren't. I bite my nails a lot, which is why I get these. But yeah, my date was an hour late to photos and he showed up high. So not a great prom.
But honestly, it's better to have pictures without the date.
Yes.
Because then you look back and you get to be like, here's me.
Yeah.
Not some flop.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what's important.
Yeah.
If you're going to prom this year, only solo shots.
Get
You're
some solo
not
shots
gonna
because
regret
you will
that.
not regret it. It's such a better memory. I will say one of my fuck yous is to my prom date because I was really upset because I was so excited and he was so late and he came. It was just like, it really sucked. That was not fun. Flop for sure.
My last question of the pod is, what was your senior superlative?
My senior superlative for 2 years in a row. I got junior and senior year.
Oh, they do junior superlatives?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just kind of like superlative for anybody.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't necessarily a senior thing.
Right.
Was most likely to become famous.
It's happening.
It's happening. My podcast has not enough listeners the same as this one.
But it's happening.
But it's happening.
And that's what's going on.
There you go. Most likely to become famous.
Well, where can all of my little podcasters listen to your podcast?
You can find us on the Headgum Network, baby.
Same as this one.
Yep, we're Revue, REVIEW, REVUE. It is a silly, long-form improv comedy podcast, the coolest form of comedy.
I didn't
if
know
you
that
wanna
it
find
was long form improv.
We take every episode is about something completely different. So we had one this week was Dice, last week was Martinelli's sparkling cider, and then we
Right.
find reviews off of those things, and then we do long form improv based off of the reviews. So it's kind of like a UCB style type
Well,
of thing.
it should be known that I don't listen to podcasts. So, like, except for my own. I listen
That's
to this. I listen to this podcast. I love nothing quite like, slipping into a gorgeous slumber by the sound of your own voice. Highly
gorgeous.
suggest across the board.
That's amazing.
Well, thank you so much for coming on my show.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a trip down memory lane.
I love talking to people that performed well in high school.
Yeah.
It's inspiring.
It's you get the dark and the light. You
Honey,
get the good
say
grades
that.
and you get the crippling, paralyzing
like
anxiety when you get home.
It's true. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. Please have a great weekend. Please leave really extremely positive, glowing reviews. All 5 stars. And, I love you.
Wow.
Stay cool, never change. Until next time, ciao.
That was a Headgum podcast.